This is Rob Luca of Spread Eagle, and you are listening to the Nothing Shocking podcast. Turn it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Ray West of Spread Eagle, and you are listening to the Nothing Shocking podcast. Spread the word because the word is good.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking podcast, a non-genre based, all ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
We're putting the band back together.
The numbers all go to 11.
I'm talking about bands that rock. Led Zeppelin. What about Sabbath? AC/DC. Motorhead.
Does that mean it's louder? Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
I get up off the ground and raise my head. Days like this, think I should be dead. One for Satan, two for me. Let's cheat the devil, it's fun, don't you agree?
Welcome to the Nothing Shocking podcast. I'm your co-host, Jeff Untied, and with me in Dog Bowl Studio is
Coach Nez.
You can find the Nothing Shocking podcast on Libsyn or any podcatchers. Like our Facebook page or follow us on X at No Shock Pod.
You can also find the Nothing Shocking podcast on Rock Rage Radio every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. Our sponsor is Big Strix Vinyl Records and Sports Cards, located in Rock Island, Illinois. New, vintage, and previously owned. You can find it at Big Strix. We would like to thank the Hong Kong Sleepover for allowing us to use their music for our intro and bumper ending. Tonight's guests are
Rob DeLuca and Ray West
of Spread Eagle, promoting their newest album, The Brutal Divine. Let's get to the interview.
All right, good night.
Good night. Rob, welcome back to the Nothing Shocking podcast, and Ray, welcome to the Nothing Shocking podcast. I'd like to introduce to you my co-host, Jeff Untied.
Guys, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, Jeff.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure, man.
Hey, we are so excited.
you.
Yeah, we are so excited to have you, and let's talk about this new music. Spread Eagle, The Brutal Divine was released this past June. Can you talk to us a little bit more about the songwriting and the recording and the whole creative process it took to make this album happen?
So,
wow.
This is Rob, and I'm going to let Ray West, our singer, answer that, and then you know who's who.
Okay.
Well, Ray, the collaborative process for us has been, especially for this album, has been a work in progress for the past years. I mean, even like a song like Ant Farm, the riff was written a while back, but we're able to go into our vaults of riffs or whatever, things that are unfinished, and put them together. But this has been more of a collaborative process. Robbie produced the record and wrote a lot of it, but it's still a lot of back and forth collaboration with the vocal ideas and things like that. So it's, this is a labor of love. Because of putting in the work with Jami in our live situation, we've been able to now take that live energy and bring that into our recording process, which we weren't able to do in the past the past album actually. So it really is a labor of love, period.
Yeah, and Jami, who Ray mentioned, is our guitar player who joined, I guess it would be 4 years ago now. Mm-hmm. So we're just, that sounds like a long time, but it's not really, so we love him, and we're just still growing with him. He's still growing into the gig, even though he's absolutely mind-blowingly great. But you always, every year someone can grow into a gig more. I've experienced that in bands I've been playing with for over a decade. I felt the feeling of getting better.
And let me add to that, Rob, that Robbie Jami, now that he's able to put his signature, if you will, on Spread Eagle, is taking it kind of like we feel like we've taken things up a notch. Jami's from Sardinia, Italy, so he brings like this cool melodic sensibility that he has from where how he's grown up. There's a pool of guitar players in Sardinia that are just amazing, and they have this great gift for melody, and Jami brings that to the table too. So we're really, really happy with that.
Fantastic.
I agree. For a shredder, he's incredibly melodic.
Yes.
Incredibly melodic. So it's a pleasure playing with him. And Ray brings a lot of style to the songs, and Ray and I work together. I feel we work together very well. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time now, and I respect that Ray and I have this, have the same vision of what we want to end up with, being in the style of the songs, and also where our career is going. We're really in harmony about that. So it's fun. It's fun, and I think we made a kick-ass record that shows that, that shows how we work together.
You did. Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree. Is there anything that you did different with this album that you maybe compared to the last one, Subway to the Stars?
Mixing. The construction of this album is pretty much exactly the same as the last one.
Okay.
Same people recording it, same producers, same studio, except different guitar player. So obviously that. But three of us, same guys, Ray, Richter, Luca, our drummer, and I. But we had a different guy mix it. The last time was mixed a little bit more mainstream, I would say. And this one's a little more muscly. Ray, any feelings on that?
Once again, I agree. And once again, let me just add again, from playing with Jami these past couple of years and just touring constantly, that energy and that gained wisdom, or whatever the hell that is, has gone into the recording process. You know what I mean? Like, it's all that sort of X factor that makes things work easy. I hope that makes sense to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're coming basically straight from the stage or straight from a tour into the studio, it does translate in some way. And this is honestly the first album we've ever done that with.
All right, so this is a very long question, so forgive me, but this is going to be very long-winded, so I apologize. So the unique element to the Spread Eagle music is the dabbling of various rock genres into your creativity, I guess. Some tracks are very metal, some have very deep punk elements to it, and then others are very just rock-driven. Can you give our listeners who maybe are not familiar with Spread Eagle the origins and the sonic sound of Spread Eagle, and how do you guys pull it all together to give that very unique, I guess, sound?
I think the sound has to come off in the genuine production and mixing of everything. You know what I mean? But we all come from such different backgrounds, but yet we all love the same thing. With Rob is a great songwriter, great music. Rob's just a great talent. He's got a great ear for songwriting too. But as far as the sound, I mean, I bring my weird shit to the table. You know what I mean? Whatever that is. And same thing for every member of this band. We were all raised on, rock and me, soul, rhythm and blues. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I love rock for all it's worth, from the Rolling Stones and to ZZ Top to Zappa to everything. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get the gist of your question. Do you mean what we each bring to the table that makes it happen?
I guess what it comes down to is that you guys dabble in a lot of different genres to make that Spread Eagle sound happen. And it's very unique. You guys are very unique in your sound. You can catch different influences on different tracks. And I guess the question would be is, how do you make it happen? Because there's a lot going on there,
Well, there's a lot of collaboration and even some compromise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a push and pull. As Cool and Rob are together as brothers still can argue.
Right.
So you're gonna push and pull to things sort of, get molded into what you want to say. Yeah. And we sort of like have a little push and pull, and we meet in the middle, and it becomes this really cool thing. So there's a lot of collaboration. It has to be where everybody has to this isn't one of those benevolent dictatorships, where like just one guy does everything, people do kowtow, so we're all contributing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're all wise enough to know that someone has something really good to contribute, so we all contribute, and we respect that.
And I feel we, in general, we write. We're an aggressive band. Yeah. We're getting more. It seems like we're getting more aggressive again, or at least the mixes are sounding more aggressive again, and we're somewhat going full circle back to, to what we started as. So I feel, yes, our sound is it's very spread eagle. We don't sound like other bands, even though we haven't reinvented the wheel or even tried to. Within rock, we have our own sound. I feel when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's spread eagle. Ray's voice is very identifiable. The forward motion of most of the music is very identifiable. Now moving forward, our guitar sounds hopefully will be very identifiable now that we've found the perfect guitar sounds that we love again. But answering your question more specifically, I think that we write in a few different genres or styles that are all aggressive, and we blend them, like metal. Obviously, we're a metal band. We're not like a rock metal band. We have some thrash influences even, we're influenced by punk. So, we live in New York City. There's a lot of punk here. There's always has been. So that creeps in. We like classic rock, especially classic rock that's aggressive with great melodies, Sabbath and Aerosmith and Skynyrd and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So you mix those all together and you get this blend of what we are. But it's always, and also like what I would call like groove, like hard rock that just has a undeniable groove where your body just moves without you thinking about it, subliminally. So you get those four kind of feelings and you just blend them all together whenever appropriate. And that's kind of the spread eagle sound. It's not that anything is profoundly unique about those four elements, but when you blend them together in the ways we do with the four individuals that we are, it ends up being very unique, I feel.
Very much.
We call it putting it through the machine,
Yeah.
We're not a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian.
No, it's okay. I was just saying, we're not a one-dimensional thing. There's so many ways to express yourself. Remember like back in the day when, Van Halen would do on an album, it was so many different colors to it, but it was still them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how we are. I mean, if we want to go into blues, we'll write something that's kind of bluesy, something with a lot of rhythm, we'll do that. So with a lot of open groove, we'll do that. As long as it grooves, that's all that matters. So we always, the spread eagle groove and feel is kind of has a certain color to it. But I know what you mean. We're able to write in different styles and put them all together into our own little gumbo. You feel me?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I was going to mention the song Gunflower. That's full on metal, but it's not.
Yes.
But it's not metal like anyone else. Like no one else would write that song, It's just us. It's just us. So and we have a song called Little Serpentina on Subway to the Stars, and when I hear that song, I'm like, no one else in the world would write.
Very cool.
Yeah. I was going to ask you. You had mentioned earlier about one of the songs being an older riff. What's the oldest song on the album, or oldest riff?
I think Ant Farm was in Rob's pocket from a while back, and he brought that into play. So I really appreciate it. I love that song.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned different styles, and that's a great sort of a darker tone on the record that I love.
Yeah. Ironically, like. I don't know if people have said it about that one, but like on the last album, we had a couple really old songs. One of them was Dead Air. It's interesting because like on the last album, Subway to the Stars, people picked the song Dead Air as sounding the most modern. And ironically, that song was 20 years old. So it's crazy.
we were talking earlier, though, about perspective when you're listening to something. Somebody can hear a tune and hear it. Somebody, 5 people can hear one song and get different things from it. Somebody hears, oh, that's very modern. Oh, I kind of heard that riff before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many people listen. It's all about perspective. We listen to. I love Deftones and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But we're not the Deftones. Like, we are a hard rock band, and we're not gonna try to be something we're not. But we respect that. So I feel we're like old school with new school sensibilities. We're smart enough to be, as far as mixing and how things sound, and we're smart enough to add new things. You know what I mean? Without being pretentious.
Ray, I think it's because we're always learning. Like
always.
We love who we were, and we are proud of it. We're not embarrassed by most of it. There's a couple moments, but we're proud of who we are. But we're always still, listening and just growing. So that keeps us. We'll always be fresh because we don't write in a certain era. We don't write anything that sounds like I don't in my opinion.
It's
We
almost
just
like
write cool hard rock music. So in theory it can always be in style, in my opinion.
I think because we didn't hit a certain way, back in the day, it didn't pigeonhole us into anything.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. So we that gives us a freedom that we enjoy. And we don't have to try to rewrite this record or that record or try to have this sound or that sound. You know what I mean? We're not stuck in this this one alley of this one path. We get to do these different things, and that's the beauty of it.
Ray, I think that's one of the things that hurt us back in the day, that they couldn't put us into. Well, they're not really, a hair metal band. They were a lot of people were confused with us because we had Susie Suicide. Like, are they a thrash band? No, but most songs aren't thrash. Like, what are they? Like, the bands that were not, arguably not as good as us, but were easier to turn into a product, did a lot better than us.
I say it all the time. We have, we just fit it all, but it sounded like us no matter what. That first album, it sounds like us, right? So I always tell people, we've never been put into a little box. So again, it gives you the freedom, but at the same time, I wish we didn't have so much freedom, because I like to have something, something substantial to fall back on. But we always get a chance to create and be creative, which is great. It's very liberating.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to get in. Jeff and I wanted to touch upon certain, tracks on the new album, but for me, Scars in Your Eyes, City Kids is my favorite track on the album. As I've listened to it multiple times now, as I'm mowing grass, doing yard work, et cetera, because I guess the reason why is that song really brings out the New York City. And that is a New York City type of song. Can you talk a little bit more about the creativity, the writing, recording of that song? Is there a story behind it?
I think it's a good grass cutting song in general.
There's a damn good
grass cutting.
We're not
song.
grassroots, we're grass cutting band.
We're a cutting band, and we have some grassroots, so we figured we've got to write a grass cutting song.
Now that I've had a chance to sit with it too, sorry to interrupt, Robbie, that I've had a chance to sit with it too, Robbie will be the first to say, I had a hard time with this song in the studio. Mm-hmm. It was one of those things where I didn't feel the vocal was ever right, or I was really a pain in the ass about it. I think we had it we were going to put it on Subway to the Stars, but it wasn't primed yet. It wasn't cooked enough. You know what I mean? Mm. So Rob really pushed for this, and for the way the song goes and how it feels and how it sounds. So now that I've had a chance to listen to it, I'd like to know what you think of it. Why do you like the song? That's what I want to ask you.
Why do I like the song so much?
Yeah, what is it you like about it?
I don't know, man. It was just one that popped out because it's so different from the rest of the songs on the album. It's just, there are just songs that catch people for whatever reason. I don't know, but the song is very unique. And it's man, as I'm listening to the song, it's these guys are from New York. It sounds like a band that's from New York singing this song. It's just City Kids. I mean, it just does.
Yeah, again, so I appreciate it, because the song kind of takes you songs to be like time machines. You know, that song in particular has a certain feel of a certain era. And it takes me back to when I used to around New York City around 88, 89. It just has a certain feel. So I'm glad that you caught on to that. That's cool.
As Ray mentioned, Ant Farm was an old song, and City Kids is a slightly old song. It was written during the Subway to the Stars sessions, and to be honest, the bridge just wasn't good yet, so we left it off, and we rewrote the bridge, and I'm glad you like it. It's an interesting take on it. But as Ray mentioned, it took Ray a little while to warm up to it, and that's okay, Ray. You got to fight for what you believe in, but it is a good song. It's multiple people have chosen it as their favorite. Luckily for this album, people have chosen about 5 or 6 favorite songs. Now, the song that gets chosen the most is Ant Farm. However, other people have chosen 5 or 6 songs, and that tells me that it's a damn good album.
Oh yeah.
Because if everyone's choosing one song, like everyone choosing 1 or 2 songs, there's a chance you might only have 1 or 2 good songs on the album, So,
let me interject something with this song, Two Scars, because in the recording process, you asked about the recording of the songs. There's a trust that has to be in the studio, and sometimes when if I'm off course, I gotta trust that the vision that Rob has is on course, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So, and at the end of the day, then you have that song.
Very good.
Well, one of the songs I liked was Street Noise. You definitely get the picture of being on a subway train or being in a big town and seeing the different people around the thing. But I love that the lyric, "My city, my town, 8 million stories is a long way down." Can you just talk a little bit about lyrics? Maybe Ray. This is a question for Ray. And just Ray, being the songwriter, is there any lyrics from this album that just like give you goosebumps every time you sing them?
Well, let's talk about that one in particular. It's so good.
Well, you know what it is? My way of writing is more street lingo.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really just about I'm not a poet, so I'm all about just taking a snapshot of what I see or what I'm feeling. So that's how that comes out. So when you hear, it's 8 million stories in the naked city. So it translates to 8 million stories, but it's the long way down. So it's a play on words too.
Yeah.
But, a snapshot of being on the subway train at 2:30, whether it's in the morning or 2:00 in the afternoon, there's always that dude on the train or girl, whatever, where they're dressed to the nines and it's in leather and it's, and full makeup and it's gothy and it's sweaty, you know what I mean? And it just puts you in that scene.
Yeah, I love that song. I can't say enough about it, and I thought Ray did an awesome job on it.
And one thing is, everybody likes to take ownership of where they live. So for me, it's a way for me to take ownership of my DNA in that city. You know what I mean? Because it's if you're born there, it stays with you. That DNA stays with you no matter where you go in life. I could go and live in Honolulu or something, but I'm still a New Yorker. You know what I mean? And that feeling. So that's what that song conveys. I hope I am making sense.
Yeah.
And ironically, of the 4 of us, Ray's the only one born in New York City.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
And it's, as you know, there's street noise. No matter what you do in the background,
exactly.
that's your backdrop. It's a street noise. It's this. It puts you to sleep. It wakes you up. It's everything.
Yeah. And to follow up on that song at the end, there's a little a scream with some words at the end. I guess, can you talk a little bit about that? Is that something that was just impromptu at the end of the song, or is that something that you had to work a couple times to get it right, or how did it work?
Is that when he curses?
Yeah. Mother.
That's just me. That's just me not taking my foot off the gas. That's all.
I love it. Yeah.
I'm like flying. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to stop. And it's like, you usually hence the expletive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I wanted to continue.
Yeah.
I wanted to go on longer, but it's like, So it really is an in the moment thing. And I'm surprised that we even left that on the record.
Yeah, I love it.
That's funny.
I ran it by the label saying, I just want you guys to know that we have some few curse words on it. They were totally cool about it.
Yeah,
well, I struggle with, City Kids and then Inside of a Shrunken Head. I love that track as well because, it gives him that raw punk rock vibe to it. And is there a story behind that track? It's such a unique title, such a unique sound. Talk a little bit more about it.
Well, I think musically, go ahead, Rob. You go first.
I think the story behind that one is it was the last song written for the album, and it just popped out like it just. Our drummer actually wrote the guitar music to that song, inside of Shrunken Head, and the lyrics we needed another song, and the lyrics just popped out. So that's my thoughts of it. Is just they were basically done in an overnight.
Yeah, because it was kind of we were kind of both racing to the finish line, and Rob got there first, and I liked what he had better than what I had, so it just worked out. And that song, guitar wise, is vicious, and it really showcases Jami's abilities
and Rick's drumming,
of course. And if you know Rick is exactly what Rick is, high energy. So that song is. It's a good description of Rick. He's just high energy, man. So that it came off on the track.
Oh, so cool.
So, I mean, I was going to ask you, so this you kind of mentioned the record label. So this is the second album for Frontiers. Can you talk a little bit about working with those guys? I mean, I bought a lot of albums from Frontiers over the years.
Well, if I may, you know, working with labels can be tricky.
Yeah.
You know, they're either in it or they're not, you know. And so far we've had good luck with Frontiers. I mean, it's been a lot of, you know, correspondence back and forth. You know what I mean? It's there's a lot of contact where there wasn't before. You know, so it's nice that things are working out. You know, Robbie can tell you more about that.
I agree with Ray that they seem to be trying a lot harder on this album, The Brutal Divine, than with Subway to the Stars. Yeah, you know, it's tough with any label. You're trying to get attention, you know, from the people who work there. You're trying to get more attention than other bands, you know, without being disrespectful to anyone. It's a tough position to be in, but everyone plays the game, and that's how you do it. So
yeah, and as we all know, there's a lot of product on that label.
Yeah,
you know, so I'm happy with the attention that they've given us, and so I consider ourselves very lucky to have gotten this far.
Oh, that's awesome. So you talked about producing the album, Rob, and you wear the producer hat and the bass player hat. Do you ever have any trouble bouncing back and forth between the two, or is that pretty old hat by now?
Well, not much trouble, but the only difficulty is when I'm tracking drums, I have to be really focused on my bass playing because I'm trying to get keeper takes that are recorded with the drums. You know, in theory, they say when you record together, you know, it has this unspoken element of, you know, being more vibey, you know, and I don't know if that's true, but if, you know, you're always trying to get the live takes.
Yeah.
And having said that, you know, sometimes I can't see the big picture as much when I'm playing, but then once the bass tracks are done, you know, then it's no problem. So on those, you know, 2 or 3 days tracking drums, it's a little difficult to juggle things, yeah, but that passes very quickly.
Oh, cool.
So, Spread Eagle is planning a 13-country tour in support of the new album. Can you touch upon the aggressive touring schedule you guys have on the horizon?
When we only get to go, we were talking about this today too. We only get to go over there once a year.
Yeah.
You know, so it's better to play as many places and as much as you can while you're there to have the most impact. And we've been going over there steady since 23, I think, Rob, right?
Yeah, and we went there before then, but steady since 23, right. Yeah.
The first time was 2017, and we got the taste of it. And we were like, oh, well, we should be doing this more often. You know, we get it. People are very passionate for hard rock over there. And very, very just thought of there's a certain culture over there that they're just very hard rock, metal. You know, I told somebody earlier, you can meet someone in their 90s. It works in a donut shop, and they'll give you, they'll write you an essay on Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath. You know, I mean, everybody is educated and versed in metal and rock and roll over there. So we've gotten great responses and good reviews from over there with the music as well. And we're putting in our time over there. We've made a lot of friends over the years from going over there now, and we've got a lot of support. So it's the great adventure for us. We'd love to do it. As we like to, I would go longer. We just would have to survive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very good.
We just recently had, a completely different genre, but we just had Luke Bryan come to town, and there's a video that's kind of going viral of him pulling a fan up on stage. So that kind of made me think about, have you guys ever done an experience like that, or pulling a fan up on the stage? And
just last week, right?
Is there a
it's
good
funny
story?
You mentioned that.
Yeah.
What's happening with us? It's happening on the States. Is I see a lot of younger folks will come to the shows, and there's these two kids we met. I think we met at M3, and we were doing a gig in Florida, and he's a singer, so I pulled him up to sing Switchblade, and he just tore it up, and he was great. So I really, I would like to do that in an environment where the sound is great and the recording would be great, and I have no problem putting that out there, because it's a song that's, I find some people have a hard time singing it, but when you find somebody that can rock through it and get through it, it's awesome. So I love bringing people up. Rob will tell you that.
Yeah, and his name is Elijah, right?
Yeah, Elijah and Phoenix. They're from a band called Young
Elijah.
Dog. They're great. They're just great young cats, and they're great energy, man. It's been happening a lot for us where we see younger folks at the gigs, which is really great. Gives me a lot of hope. But I love that. I wouldn't do it for shtick. I enjoy the whole thing of bringing somebody up.
Yeah,
it is fun.
So cool. Another long-winded question here. Spread Eagle released the band's debut album back in 1990. You released Open to the Public in 1993, and then Subway to the Stars in 2019. I guess, can you talk about the evolution of the band's songwriting, the recording of the band in the present time opposed to way back then, and I guess maybe just the band as a whole as far as the maturity of sound all these years later?
Wow,
well, the first two albums, all the guitar music was written by Paul DiBartolo, and he was just a master writer and guitar player, in my opinion. And Ray, obviously, and I wrote music also in the vocal melodies, and we obviously wrote the lyrics also. So, Paul was the engine, in my opinion. Paul was the engine of the band. He was older than us. I had switched to bass, just a couple years before Spread Eagle. I had just switched from guitar to bass. So I was a novice, and so was Tommy Gallo in a lot of ways. But Paul was very developed, and so we really looked up to him, and he was a force. He was definitely a force. So when someone like him leaves, things change, and they did. But we're still creating great rock music, so that our fans love. So, but I'm just saying, when someone leaves, it always changes the dynamic somewhat, and especially if it's someone as important as Paul.
Right, and we were all kind of seasoned individually as far as being in bands. So that first studio experience with all of us was very, youthful and high energy, and everybody had egos. You know what I mean? So we went through that machine, that the big going into the record plant and working with, great engineers and, going on buses. The world changed since then. Open to the Public was more, it was more self-contained. We were writing and producing it more in a sense, and then obviously things changed from there. We got Steve. And that was after we'd been disbanded for a long time. Me and Robbie started putting the Spread back together, and every studio experience since coming back together has been pleasant. I did not like the studio. I hated it for the recording of the first album. I did not have a good time in the studio. I made myself have a good time with a lot of liquor, but I was very young and very green, and I just did not, it was really difficult for me. So I had to really grow up quick. And, since then I enjoy recording now. I enjoy working with Robbie in the studio. It's become a different animal. Recording now is different. People aren't using the huge studios anymore, but we still like to be on a Neve board. Yeah. We love that warmth of that. So we've got Tommy Camusa, who happens to have a great studio, and every progression has gotten easier and better.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I remember, Rob, when you were on last time, we talked about the album Subway to the Stars and the making of the video for Sound of Speed. So I wanted to just bring to the new album, Brutal Divine. I love the video for Flat Earth Vultures. Looks like that was a lot of fun to record. Can you talk a little bit about the band's, either one of you, about the band's approach to making music videos and your comfort behind the camera?
Well, Frankie Filleta directed that. He's been a friend of the band since the early days, and he did a fantastic job. He really, really did. And I think, videos are cool because Ray is a real performer in the true sense of the word. He's funny. He's talented musician. He could probably dance. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he could tap dance. It's just that's how Ray is. Great. But I wouldn't be surprised. So, he could be a comedian. So Ray, I think when you get him in front of a camera, that ham in him comes out, and it's really good. He's really, really good at it. So
let me add, Robbie as well, because Robbie is doing some acting in this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's not as natural for me, in all honesty. I'm not just being modest. Ray is a natural performer. He was born to perform. And I enjoy performing. I don't suck or anything like that, but Ray is just really excels at it. So you put a camera in front of him, and it's a really good element for him. So you could see that for yourself by watching that video. And we love it. We love it. Yeah. It's a cool song.
My favorite,
a cool video.
Yeah, let me add. It's my favorite part. I love. I'm one of those guys that always has his phone out. I'm always videotaping something. But Frankie. I always fight for Frankie because Frankie is an absolute untapped raw video guy. I mean, he's nonstop with ideas. He's that guy that's going to bother you like after a while because he has an idea every new minute. You know what I mean? His thing is, hey, what if you try this? And after, you just got to trust him. You try things and he has off the wall ideas, or I'm going to put you in clown makeup. I'm like, what? But then I put it on and it was like, okay, I could do this all day long. And we have outtakes of me going on. I went to CVS after the video shoot. I had the makeup on and the clown outfit, so we just went home like that. So I stopped in a CVS, and when we were on the way, we were like pulling down the window and asking people where the clown store was, shit like that. And we were in CVS, and I'm asking people where the clown remover is, and it became like a whole shtick. I got some more videos of it. I got to put it out, but I just enjoy the whole thing.
That's cool. Oh,
you can't be afraid to be silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to stop once he gets going.
We have one last question for you before we let you go for the evening because we're running out of our allotted time. Yeah. But, always now the thing for fans is merch. Mm-hmm. So what kind of merch are you guys offering for the outside of the new album? Shirts, koozies. What do you guys got in store for your fans?
Well, we have an online merch store. People can order pretty much what they want, right, Rob?
Yeah.
We carry obviously T-shirts with us on the road. We do not have a whole full stock of the beer cozies to curtains,
shot glasses.
You know what I mean? It's like we carry the basics on the road, but people can go online. I give out pics now with the QR code on the back to the merch store, so they can go to the merch store and pretty much order whatever they want.
Yeah, as Ray was saying, it's hard to carry a lot of items on the road because we pack everything in our suitcases.
Yeah.
But we have CDs. We have two different CDs right now. We have our new album, of course, The Brutal Divine. And then we have our 1989 demos CD, which is really good. It's our demos that before we were signed, recorded professionally to tape with Charlie Gambetta, who produced our first album. So it's very, very vicious. So we sell those two CDs. We sell signed drum heads. We obviously have at least one shirt design we usually sell. It's usually front and back, printed. Often it has all the dates on it. We sell little things like pick cards with pics stuck to them with photos. And then, as Ray mentioned, we have an online web store at spreadeagle.us, and that has a lot of a lot more items. It has biker jackets that are embroidered with the logo. Beautiful, beautiful, highest quality embroidery, going across the whole top of the back of a biker jacket.
Yeah. Those were cool.
Yeah, they're very cool. We have about 4 or 5 different T-shirt designs that are different from the ones we carry on tour. And we also have the drum heads and things like that and the CDs I mentioned. So, yeah, we got some merch.
Yeah, and also people are digging the cover, the artwork.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few shirts where people order that as well,
Yeah, you can get that shirt through Frontiers of the album cover. We actually tried to design it, and we do screen printing where you actually push the ink through we don't personally do it. We hired a screen printing, and it just would not come through with our screen printers. So we went in a different direction for our tour shirts.
Oh, very good. Well, like I said before, we're out of our allotted time for the evening. Is there anything that we left off that you would like to plug and promote?
Again, just check us out. You don't have to buy the album. If you buy it, great. If not, stream it on Spotify, just as long as you're hearing it. And check us out on YouTube. We got these 13 countries coming up, but we have a lot of U.S. shows also, and we're starting to book the late fall, winter. So just come to a show. This band is a real live entity. We don't use backing tracks. We all sing. So that's really where we are at our strongest, on a live stage. So come and check it out. It's really cool. It's a dying breed. It's real rock and roll.
The ancient art form of live rock and roll, man. We try to create a really cool, not to sound corny, but it's going to sound corny. The live vibe that we create is really it's for everybody in the room. It creates this really cool thing. It's not just about the band. So people need to come to the live show to experience the whole spread eagle vibe of things, and then they can spread the word that way. So what I implore to people is to come see the band live, and let that be the trigger for all you want to do with getting the merch, but come see the band and see what it's all about. And we're creating quite a community that we like. It's a safe place to be, but also a very dangerous place to be because it's live rock and roll. So we're trying to it's more of a, we got the music, we've got the live thing, but it's really about a sense of community with us. We're building this really cool tribe all over the world as much as we can. We want people to experience it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, this is how things are going to work out. Once Jeff, the editing wizard over here, gets everything cleaned up, we'll have this ready to go, and we'll send it to you, Rob, and then please share it on all of your socials, and we'd really appreciate it. Fantastic. You guys were great tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys. And
right on, man. Well, we really appreciate what you guys are doing, okay? This doesn't work without you guys, so thank you very much for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Eric. You guys have a good night.
You too.
All
Take
right.
care.
Take care, man. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
their tongue and pays their bills instead. Hide in the spotlights, fight the grip of death. You can have the air you need, but you best not take one breath. Hey! Roll the dice. Take your chances. Everybody knows the game is fixed, there is no prize. Everybody pulls the plug and says their last goodbyes. Move to the sunshine, fight the grip of nights. If they ever take from you, then